Is it good or bad to stand out? Say you stand out because of your boundless charisma. You make friends as easily as you breathe. You brighten up any room by just existing. That's probably good. And on the flip side, if you stand out because you're a recluse, because you're so antisocial you might faint at just the possibility of talking to someone, that's probably bad. In anime, we're used to it being a character trait, a quirk that we can laugh at or admire. But what if it wasn't a quirk? What if you were put in a circumstance outside of your control? What if the reason you stood out had nothing to do with what you did? Meet Asa, a 15-year-old girl whose parents just died. I don't know how a 15-year-old should react because I've never lost a close relative. And yet, while trying to put myself in Asa's shoes, I couldn't help but agree with the author. Tomoko Yamashita imagines a girl that doesn't cry or feel sad when her parents die. At first. Because at first, she's asked much simpler questions.
足りなかったら言って。
はい。
もう一杯飲む？
ありがとう。
悲しい？
It's not that Asa doesn't feel sad, she just doesn't know what she feels. 20 seconds of silence that begs you to wait, and so instead, Asa is given advice.
日記？
To keep a journal.
この先、誰が何をあなたに言い、誰が何をあなたに言わなかったか、今あなたが何を感じ、何を感じていないのか。
Unusual advice, coming from an unusual woman.
Asa!
Raising your voice at a girl who just lost her parents seems cruel. While watching this scene, my instincts matched everyone around her. She's probably sad, but the person sitting across her saw something nobody else did. Makio is a writer, so teaching kanji is trivial for her. But a writer isn't just literate. They spend hundreds of hours inside fictional minds they created, which gives them a unique insight into a real one. What Asa desperately needs now is not a hug, but a guiding light. And so, Makio makes a once-in-a-lifetime offer.
15歳の子供はこんな醜悪な場にふさわしくはない。それでよければ、明日も、明後日も、ずっと家に帰ってきなさい。
With eyes like a wolf, astray from its pack, that's how Asa described her in this moment. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one who'd like to be fluent in Japanese, but not all of us have a native writer on standby to help with kanji spelling like Asa. And the fastest way to learn Japanese right now? Spend hours reading dictionaries. But that's boring. That's why I'm happy to tell you about today's sponsor, Subtoraw. It takes real clips from your favorite anime and turns them into fun, interactive flashcards. Pick from a growing list of anime and learn over 10,000 Japanese words from shows you actually love. Each card plays the actual scene and then quizzes you on the word's meaning. Get it right? Boost your confidence. But get it wrong and you learn a new word. Every answer gives you the full breakdown. The reading, the kanji, even the tone and intended emotion. The platform's intuitive design guarantees a seamless and engaging experience. So, why not start now? Check out Subtoraw.com to start the most fun learning experience you've ever had, and also to avoid hiring a writer as your tutor, because you most definitely don't want to live with one. Makio stands out in a way you'd expect a professional writer to stand out. Her room is messy, and her mood is often bad. Makio's mind is always busy. Her short attention span combined with her extensive vocabulary make most conversations frustrating.
まあ人道に戻らない限りはね。
But even though she speaks in difficult words, her principles could not be any clearer.
あなたの感情はあなただけのもので、私がそれを責める権利はない。絶対に。
Makio would often repeat this line. It's exactly the words Asa needed to hear, the kind of words that she has never heard before, and the kind of words that, at first glance, make Makio the perfect guardian for the girl. But if you pay attention, Makio isn't speaking to Asa. Her tone gets a little too defensive, her words become a little too sharp. Makio is arguing past Asa, against a ghost. This ghost is Asa's mother, but also Makio's sister. Her name is Minori, a person Makio fundamentally despised. The kind of person she was isn't hard to guess. Minori was the complete opposite of her sister. She exuded pressure. With her own daughter, it manifested through suffocating disappointment.
よく言うやつだ。こんな当たり前のこともできないの。
With her younger sister, through snide remarks and judging looks.
あんた何その服。
And, naturally, to justify her impossible expectations, the person Minori pressured the most was herself.
なんでこんなこともできないの？
But it wasn't always like this. Hatred is a wave that is built from small, silent currents. And while the story doesn't outright tell us where it went wrong, it leaves hints as to how.
みのりは私の話もよく聞いてくれる子でね。
The most formative years of our life happen to be when we are teenagers. Searching for our own voice, we listen to opinions around us and decide what fits. Praise especially tends to stick, sometimes even determining the rest of our lives. But if a teenager is told they're the best listener, taking it to heart might be the worst decision they can make. Because whether you can play sports or not is something that each person can see for themselves, through winning a race or scoring a goal. But to know if you're a good listener, you need to be told by the person you're listening to. Somewhere along the way, for Minori, what others thought of her became more important than her own voice. Pressure from her family, her peers, and society manifested in rules Minori decided to follow. The rules to be normal. To stop reading manga she was interested in, to wear clothes that make her feminine, and, of course,
全然。みのりは？とうとうみのりが最後だよ。意外だよね。
following other people's rules is convenience, until it stops working. And this show doesn't shy away from showing exactly that.
結婚はしたくないけど子供のことは精一杯やりたい
Minori was the best listener, yet her life did not go how she wanted. And so, in an act of desperation, she decides to stake everything on her daughter. An unspoken wish inside a journal only meant to be read when Asa turns 20.
あなたが誰からも愛されるよう心から願っていますし、そのためにきっと何でもしてやろうと思います。
Nobody is born a bad person. At our core, we only wish for things to be better. But good intentions aren't enough on their own because we're often blind to our own shortcomings. Minori lacked her own beliefs and thus was full of contradictions. Disappointment, followed by a loving smile, high expectations, followed by words of encouragement, a question immediately followed by an answer. Asa's life was a cage that kept shrinking. But maybe, just maybe it will stop if Asa becomes good enough. Of course, life doesn't always go the way you want it to. Asa needs to choose a club. It's the first time in her life she gets to decide on her own, but something's wrong.
やりたいのないの？合唱は？
合唱か。
決まりね。お母さん、間違いないんだから。
And so, Asa picks the band. But now she's irritated. Minori is in the same grade as Asa, yet she's so good at guitar she already got picked.
ずるい。エミリは今年だけで5センチも背が伸びてずるい。千代ちゃんは顔が可愛いのに頭も良くてずるい。アスカちゃんちは超お金持ちでずるい。私だけ何にもない。
What sounds like childlike envy is, in reality, a universal struggle. A struggle Asa needs to overcome very soon. For her first school concert, she has to come up with song lyrics. Considering her background, there should be plenty to write about. And yet, no matter how hard she tries, she can't.
おばさんが小説家で、親が死んで超辛くて、音楽的に深みが出てもいいはずなのに、私はなんで全然パッとしないの？
Asa feels left out. She doesn't have anything to say and doesn't know what she's good at. Everyone looks at her with pity. It's just a girl who lost her parents, and this pisses her off.
やだ！なりたい自分になりたいの！
She picked a fight with humanity's oldest question. How do you stand out? The answer doesn't lie in asking how, but why? Chiyo is on the science track. Her parents are doctors, and so she wants to become one herself. If there's anyone who could succeed, it would be Chiyo. She's smart and is hardworking. What else do you need to become a good doctor?
何これ？こんなことあっていいわけないじゃん。いくらいい点取っても。
Pursuing your passion inevitably invites failure, and how we react to it varies wildly. But failing because of something outside of your control evokes only one emotion.
許せない。絶対に許せない。
Asa found the first person she could relate to. Anger towards the unfair, it consumes you because there's nowhere to release it. And so, she tries to help. But, can she? Asa is just a kid. Even if she wanted to help, the most she could do is be herself.
大丈夫？
大丈夫大丈夫。
She's not.
いや、全然大丈夫ではないんだけどね。
It's not. But Chiyo can't say that, because Asa got it worse.
悩みに大将とか。
But do they? Or is Asa just saying that to make her feel better? Chiyo doesn't trust it, and so she asks in the only way she knows.
自分の人生終わったと思った？
思わない。終わってない。
Is it good or bad to stand out? A person stands out the moment they take their first breath. Our lives are entirely our own, and yet we face the same contradictions. Some of us understand emotions perfectly, only to hide from them. Some try their hardest to be loved, only to resent everything. And some lose their entire world, only to feel nothing. But there's no way to know that there's someone else out there facing the same dilemma. And that's why we stand out, to reach at least one person and prove it's worth it.
世界を変えたい。
Special thanks to Subtoraw for sponsoring this video. Remember to check them out with the link in the description or by visiting subtoraw.com and start learning Japanese today. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment down below to let me know if I changed your mind on what it means to stand out. I read all of them, trust me.